My name is Badon. I'm the manager at Memorial University Medical Center, Central Sterile Processing Department. Memorial is a great facility. It's located in Savannah, Georgia. I've been here since about 2009, so a little bit over a year, about a year and a half or so or something like that. It's a level 1 trauma center. We have 21 main ORs. We're in the process of building our 22nd OR. Well, getting approved to get that built, but it'll happen because it's going to be for our Da Vinci, which is actually new to us too, as of October of 2010. I've been in a sterile processing field since 1995. Yeah, so I started out in the Navy, came across, like, I guess you could say by chance of some sorts. I was actually working on the wards, on the floors with patients. I needed to switch a venue as far as hours are concerned, and they sent me down to sterile processing. I had no idea what it was, didn't even know it existed, and that's pretty much how I got started. Actually, because my wife is still active duty, Navy, and so we moved to the area. We received the JCO, the FDA, who was saying that you have like 6 to 7 months time frame to figure out to create an implementation plan to remove the CERIS-1 units or what you're going to do. I already spoken to my boss because I already knew about it. I told her we're probably going to have to go with ASP, Sterile tabletop units, the NXs. And I put the plan into place. Like I said, she said, do what you have to do. And basically, the group that was put together was myself, Sterile Processing Manager, Kathy Brown, OR Manager, and we got the coordinators, the OR coordinators involved, service coordinators. So they would be able to pass information out to their teams. And what we decided is that I said, okay, of course, since the sterile units were going to be under me, I was going to be solely responsible for them, making sure that all the functions were met and the needs were met for the OR staff. I said, I'm going to put a plan together. And once I put the plan together, I passed it on to everyone. We sat, we read it to saw if there were maybe any changes that needed to be made or any adjustments or recommendations that they thought of that we could review and go over and adjust. We wanted to put the purchases in for the units to come in and to replace the CERIS-1 units. It was an overall team effort. I mean, I'm not, like, I don't want to even take full credit for it because my guys did a great job. I think the OR staff was very understanding. The rep came in from ASP, educated the guys, let them know about the cycle time, how the process would work. But the key to the whole plan was making sure that my guys were going to be the accountable party for making sure that everything was sterile. We decided to place them in the core because that's where most of our CERIS-1 units were when they were set up. We used the exact same locations as the CERIS-1 units because they were feasible, the spacing was great. As far as locations for the units when they came on board, basically we were able to plug in, they were set up by the guys that came in and we were able to start using them. I mean, as a standard and advanced cycle, I mean, there's no water involved, there's no filtration involved or anything like that. So it was very easy for the staff to use. We installed the units. Right now I have one outside of room 12, OR 12, one outside of OR 13, one outside of OR 16, one outside of OR 8, and one in the substerile of OR 21. So those are the 5 locations that we have the units. And basically when they came on board, like I said, we plugged them in. The guys that came, they did the testing, they made sure all the parameters were met, and after 24 hours, we were able to progress forward and start using them. And it was, I mean, it was fairly, it was easy for my guys. I mean, it was explained, they were in service very well. So, I mean, it wasn't a hard transition at all. A part of the whole process was basically having Kathy Brown, the OR manager, in the loop the entire time, and I wanted to communicate to her the entire process so she was well aware of everything that was going to be transpiring and she could pass things on to her staff, even though I was passing things on to the OR staff also. So we would be on the same page, and so she would understand that the transition itself was basically not to delay them and not to push anything back, as I said earlier, but to make sure that we were still on schedule and still on pace, and we kept the pace of the OR. And I didn't want to affect productivity as far as in a negative kind of way. I wanted it to stay positive and I wanted the staff, all our staff, to be able to focus on what they needed to. What we did is we started with a couple of units at a time instead of going to just taking all out, putting all in. I think they started with 2 units one day, 2 NX units that came in and replaced 2 Steris units. And the guys came in, they did the testing, everything they had to do. And once we were up and operational, once the testing was done, was about 24 hours we had to wait and then get the confirmations to you guys with the facts saying that everything was okay. We were able to use those units. And I think that actually, that was another part that really worked out in our favor, because it wasn't like just, oh, swap out, swap them all out, swap them all in. So it was a kind of easy transition because, you know, some Steris ones were still available, but we were going more towards the Sterile NX units. And it just seemed that, I don't know, be in the cards. That's the best way to sum it up. We didn't really have too much pushback because I was there. Like, I was there on the floor, like from the first day we were start using the Sterile NX units, I was there. And I was redirecting people who were the Steris 1 unit, saying, no, we'll take care of it, pass it on. And I was basically taking that stuff myself in my hand to decontam, wrapping it, bringing it back and everything like that. So, you know, never lose the old skills. Pertaining to the units, like I said, most of the pushback I think was because the OR staff wasn't going to have the freedom to be able to just, you know, open the door, put something in, push a button, and it starts, come back, grab it. So what I did is I basically had to get them to believe that, okay, look, my staff is really going to take care of this. We're going to be on top of it. It's no different than a turnover. Than if we have a tray that we need for a turnover that we have to get washed and flashed in a flash sterilizer. I said it's no different. It's the same process. So just let my staff take care of it, believe in us, and if we have any speed bumps or problems that come about, we'll address them. But, there were really no issues because, like I said, I had everything written down. And once they got the in-service, and the in-service was actually given to my guys separately by themselves, and I also had the ASP rep in-service the OR guys, just so they would know the process, they would be familiar with it, and they would understand that, okay, yeah. And the sell on it was that it's a shorter process than the Steris 1. So, and they all like that. That was good.